What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here once again. It's your Dortmund preview. A lot of injuries, a lot of ineligible players. We're going to try and, to be honest, I say it's going to be a hard predicted lineup, but it might be one of the easier ones because there's just not many players to pick from. But before we get into all of that, a few more updates regarding the Mathys Tel situation. Ed Aaron says that Tel is very surprised by Tottenham's decision to omit him from the Champions League squad for a second time this season. And Fabrizio Romano says that Mathys Tel and his camp are not happy at all with Thomas Frank's decision. And you know what? I do not blame them one bit. We already heard, even before this situation, that, they didn't think Tel was getting enough game time and he's open to loan moves. We heard Paris FC were lining up a loan move to take Mathys Tel over for the rest of the season. And since then, Mathys has pretty much started every single game and been, our best attacking player in that period. So I'm not surprised one bit that they are furious probably with this decision to take him out of the Champions League squad. He would have been our second fit winger going into the game, with Odebear being our only fit natural winger in the squad right now. So I think this decision is a bit of a disgrace. Solanke's not even fully fit to play. If Solanke was fit and on form, it is a harder decision to make and one I have a bit more sympathy with. But seeing as what we know with Solanke, only played half an hour against West Ham and he looked pretty poor in that half an hour, lacking legs, lacking any sort of intensity in his play. I just don't get the decision whatsoever, and I have a lot of sympathy with Mathys right now.
100%, and I think it's very harsh on Mathys to leave him out when he's been playing quite well in the past few games. He's also versatile, gives us a bit more flexibility in the front line if we want to switch things around. Solanke, he's going to start tomorrow, which we presume. Is he going to be fit enough to play 90 minutes? He only played 30 minutes a couple of days ago off the back of coming back from a 6-month injury. So, and he looks so rusty. He looked rusty as hell. So in what world does Frank think he's going to be able to play a big portion of the game tomorrow at any sort of level that we need? Tel's been the one trying to make things happen in the final third, and he's been the one who probably offers a bit more probably intensity right now. Maybe Solanke can give you something, but I can't see him lasting more than an hour. I'll be shocked if he's still on the pitch after an hour.
And you know what? If Solanke goes down injured in this game, I don't think we can swap it again for the last game, can we?
No, I don't think so, because they have to have been injured for 60 days. Yeah, so you can't swap it. It's absolute craziness. And when it comes to Tel's reaction, he obviously took it on the chin when it happened in September that he was left out, and he's knuckled down and fought his way into the team, albeit a lot of it's to do with injuries as well while he's playing. But I think he's fought his way into the team in terms of given his performances, and this is a bit of a slap in the face. So I do really feel for him, and I've seen a lot of people suggest, is it a forced move or is it a choice? I mean, given Frank's comment in the press conference, it definitely seems like a choice. He said it was between Mathys and Dom, and he chose Dom. So I think that puts that to bed. I definitely think he had the choice to keep Mathys in if he wanted to, and he decided not to. And I think he also goes on to say Mathys would have started if he was available. So that means that Dom's obviously definitely starting. And as I've said before, I've got a lot of reservations whether he can last the game, and that we're already basically going to have to plan for him to come off at some point, whereas Mathys maybe wouldn't have been the case. And he's talking about how we only have 11 players available. We're going to need to, every player is going to need to put a little bit extra in tomorrow, and we're going to have to find a bit more energy and intensity from somewhere. And it's like, well, why you bring a player who's half fit? Why is that your decision then? That makes no sense. Mathys, at least he's fully fit and he can run himself into the ground without a massive risk of pulling up again and also having more match fitness. So.
And you know what? That's on top of already Javi, who's playing through the pain in this game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we've got two players that are not going to be fully fit going into this game in the starting 11, which is just crazy talk. It really is crazy when you really deep it and when you really think about it. Like, first of all, Mathys can play both roles. He can play the 9 and the left winger. We've got Muani there. I know Muani hasn't been great, but his best performances have come in the Champions League, most notably the one against PSG. And we got Dane Scarlett there as well, who can come on and play a role in the number 9. So for me, the decision makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and I think it's brainless from Thomas Frank to do what he's done.
And as well, it's off the back of him being taken off against West Ham and that decision being booed as well. So, like, in terms of reading the room, understanding how that's going to be reacted to, also goes against him on that front as well. So, for me, it's a bad decision. Time will tell. The problem is like, to justify his decision, Solanke's going to have a good game. I'm not saying we have to win, but like Solanke's going to have to come in and play well. But it's hard to for a fan to put that pressure on him to do that when we know he's half fit and he's just come back with a big injury. And he shouldn't really be starting tomorrow, if we're all being honest. He didn't look like he was ready to start on Saturday.
It's not even about him having a good game. It's about him showing that he can actually run for at least an hour. Like, he showed on the weekend he could barely run for 10 minutes when he was on the pitch. You know, it's just like he didn't look anywhere close to match fitness against West Ham. Nowhere close.
Yeah. And we'll see how it all plays out tomorrow. Frank's made the decision. He said it's nothing to do with Matisse, but he just wanted Dom in there. He said he feels like Dom offers more when it comes to lifting the team. He's a voice in the dressing room, all that kind of stuff, voice on the pitch. If things are going badly, Dom's one of the ones who can step up, which I kind of get. You know, he's a senior member of the squad and a popular member and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, he seemed half fit, and unless that's proven wrong tomorrow, it's going to be seen as a bad decision. Yeah.
I just really hope he doesn't go down injured, Solanke, tomorrow, and that goes the same with Javi Simmons as well. You know, he's mentioned in the press conference Javi Simmons going to be playing through the pain, and he's made himself available. So, you know, big up to Javi Simmons, you know, willing to put his body on the line for the team. But we don't really have much options right now, unless you want to play Luca Williams-Barnett in the 10 or something like that. But it's another precarious situation that we have to manage through in this 90 minutes of football tomorrow. So, yeah, it's not great. We're going in there with 11 senior players and 2 of them are half fit. So it's not great. And we've got one of the ones who's probably the top performer out of the last 3 games omitted from the squad. So it's just a crazy, crazy situation. And if you put yourself in Matisse's head, it's just like, what more do I need to do to prove my worth to this manager? Like, look, don't get me wrong, he's not like blowing people away and he's not like performing at a world-class level, but he's performing better than anyone else. That's the reality. So,
and considering how bad our attack has been and looked, and he's the one actually showing a bit. I'm not saying as you say, he's not been world-class, and he's not like he's been one of the best players in the league or anything like that, but he's in a forward line which is really struggling, and we're really struggling to get chances or anything. He's actually showing a bit of confidence. He's trying things. He's having shots. He scored a great goal against Bournemouth. He's taking people on, and it's not, some things are coming off and some things aren't. But that's more than a lot of what we've seen from a lot of other attackers so far.
Yeah. Do you think there is any repercussions from this decision? Do you think Matisse now will look to push a move forward till the end of January?
I think he might look to. Whether he gets one or not, whether we allow him to go is another question. Obviously, it depends on, do we get any serious moves in the market? It depends on Frank's future. There's a lot of moving parts when it comes to how the pieces will fall into place. I would suspect he would stay. I think look, he's going to probably come in and start on Saturday, and maybe we'll have another good game. But I can understand his frustration. Who knows how long Thomas Frank is going to be here for? But at the moment, you know, looking at Frank's demeanour and whatever, and he's had conversations with Vinay. Maybe he's not as close to a sack as we think. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, what he said in the press, and it's just kind of, I think, what was always going to come out. It's always going to come out a kind of air of calm, and I'm the Tottenham manager. They've got full trust in me. I think that's what's always going to come out today. So I don't read too much into it. I don't think Frank is going to be here for that much longer, and maybe Tell will wait out to see what happens with that situation before pushing a move through. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But Tell is out the squad. Tell is obviously not happy about the situation, and that's all we can say on the matter right now. But let's move on to our predicted lineup, because we have got mad amount of team news to get through. So let's get through it. We might need a whole other stream just to go through the team news.
I think so. So Tell has been replaced by Dominic Solanke, so he is now ineligible for tomorrow. Ben Davies confirmed has a fractured ankle. He is another long-term injury added to the list. He is unavailable. The other ineligible players are Radu Dragusin, Yves Bissouma and Conor Gallagher, who are not in the Champions League squad. Pape Matar is coming back from the AFCON and was also struck down with a bit of illness, so he's going to be unavailable for tomorrow. João Palhinha picked up a knock in training before the West Ham game. He is unavailable.
So we'll see him in 6 months. Well,
Yeah.
we won't see him again then.
Probably won't see him again. Maddison, Kulusevski, Kudus, Bentancur and Richarlison also remain as long-term absentees. So we're not going to be seeing them for the foreseeable future. So on the list there, how many players is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 players unavailable for tomorrow, which is as much, which is a sorry state of affairs. And it's crazy, that list, to be fair.
Obviously, it does look a bit better on the weekend because those 4 ineligible players will be available to play, and maybe even Pape Sarr might be available to play as well.
Or
so
maybe João, who knows?
So it will look a bit better on the weekend, but for right now in the Champions League, it's a very terrible situation.
6 long-term injuries.
Yeah. So let's get into the predicted lineup. 4-2-3-1 as per usual. In goal, Vicario. Could Kinski come in? Obviously,
Say every time. Could he come in? Is this the one? Is this the game? I don't think it is. But as we've said before, now the mistakes are coming more and more frequent. They're more and more costly, and it was a bad one against West Ham. Yeah, I mean, there's if you're Frank, or there's justification for bringing in Kinski for sure. But I think he is going to keep with Vicario. I think right now, with the situation we're in, you need the senior players, let's be honest, especially in games like tomorrow, 11 fit players, big Champions League night, you need the senior players.
Yeah. So Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro at right back.
I assume so. That's only that. You know what? Fullback's one of the only positions you could possibly make a change with Destiny Doggy, but again, he hasn't played any minutes in the past 2 games. So to put him in from the start in this one seems a bit far-fetched. I would like to see if he's fit, but why hasn't he come on in either games? He's been on the bench. Why not? If he's given Solanke some minutes, why hasn't he given Doggy any minutes?
Maybe the situation on the weekend was to play a Doggy and to bring him on later in the game, but he was forced to make a change after 15 minutes. So maybe he didn't think he could play that long.
And then I guess he put Spencer right back at Villa, and it wasn't very good. So maybe he just wanted to avoid that. I understand that situation. I would have maybe taken off Spence and put a Doggy on, and just because I think that could offer us a bit more of an avenue.
Or even taken off Porro.
Well, I'm saying, but if he might have not wanted to put Spencer right back, is what I was saying. But,
right.
I think it is. I think it is going to be Spence and Porro. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be the 2, and hopefully a Doggy.
I think it's going to be a Doggy.
You do think it's going to be a Doggy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, you think he's going to come straight into the lineup?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's been back for a while now. Hasn't seen any minutes, obviously. But, we said on the weekend, I think probably in line for Spence to start that game and a Doggy to play midweek. And, my mind hasn't really changed on that situation.
All right. I hope you're right.
I would have thought the plan was to play a Doggy for the last 20 minutes or something in the West Ham game. Obviously, that wasn't able to happen. And then to start him in midweek. But, I've got a feeling a Doggy's going to start.
All right, let's go Doggy then.
Centre-backs, obviously Christian Romero comes straight back in, captain, and alongside him, it will probably be Kevin Danso.
Yes, that's one actually player we left out the unavailable list. He's suspended, Van der Ven, for this game. So Danso's going to come in.
So 16 players.
So 16 players actually unavailable for this game. At least we have the long throws.
Yeah.
We have the long throws available.
Won't have to bring on a player just to take long throws this time.
I'm trying to think of how many times Danso and Romero have actually played together.
A couple, not many.
Yeah, not many.
Because there was a few games towards the back end of last season when Van der Ven didn't play and Romero and Danso played together.
Yeah. Do we think Romero off the right and Danso off the left?
Probably. I think whenever we've seen them two together, I think Danso has played on the left,
Yeah, I agree.
But I think most of them have been under Ange, so Thomas Frank might have to have a different way of thinking about it.
I'm trying to think, has he ever played? Because we rested Van der Ven some games, but I think it's been alongside is like Paolini and Danso have come in, haven't it? So, yeah, I think it's going to be like this.
Yeah. So that's the back four: Porro, Romero, Danso, and Udogie. Moving on to the midfield, very limited in options. So what are we going for?
Has to be Bergvall and Gray.
Bergvall and Gray, which would be an interesting one against this Dortmund team.
Obviously, they came in against like PSG, but they've always had a senior midfielder with them. Again, they started together as PSG against Fulham, I believe. So they've done it a few times. Usually, it's like Bergvall's played a bit further forward, and Gray's had a senior player next to him. So Bergvall and Gray in a double pivot. I think it's the first time they've started together, just them two in a double pivot there. So it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, a lot of people say they're the future of our midfield. It's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Bergvall's going to have to be a lot more disciplined in this one.
Is it the first time Bergvall has actually played in the double pivot under Frank?
Started, I would say, yeah. I don't think he started. He's played in it like in a few moments in games. But in terms of starting, it'll be the first time, I think. But he's got no option. And it'll be very interesting if, he has a great game after, for the first time playing in that position this season.
Yeah, for everyone saying in the comments about Paolini and Biss, well, Biss isn't registered and Paolini is injured. So Frank's confirmed Paolini is injured and he won't be playing. So Bergvall and Archie in the double pivot. In the 10, we know it's going to be Javi. He's confirmed to be going to be playing through the pain as he got a knock from Jarrod Bowen in the game against West Ham. But
it wasn't a good challenge as well.
No, it wasn't. But he's confirmed, literally, he's going to be playing through the pain, and Javi has made himself available.
Yeah, he said if it was too much, he wouldn't be playing, but it's something he feels like he can get through. So he's putting his body on the line. Fair play to him. Let's hope he comes through this unscathed. But again, it's going to be the case of if he has a bad game, there's just like a ready-made excuse there, isn't it? He's playing through the pain. But let's hope he comes out all right. But yeah, big up to Javi.
Yeah. So that's a midfield 3. Going into the wing positions on the right wing, I assume it's going to be Wilson Odobert.
Yeah, we don't have any options unless it's Moani off the right and Odobert off the left. But I think it is going to be the other way around. So Odobert's our only right player who can play on the right at the moment.
Yeah, so that leaves Randall Kolo Moani off the left. And I think every time he's played on the left, bar that Brentford game, it's looked pretty poor, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I'm not looking forward to that, but let's see if he can muster something. Maybe they've got a plan in place. Let's see.
And up front, which leaves Dom Solanke, unless Dane Scarlett's going to play and make this whole decision a bit useless. But yeah, I assume it's going to be Dom Solanke.
Yeah, I think so. And we'll see how long he lasts. We'll see if he can play for more than an hour or so. Obviously played half an hour on the weekend, does look very rusty. I guess there's some things he'll offer you is that ability to hold the ball up and battle with, be competitive with the centre-backs and be strong, and hopefully he offers that tomorrow. But when it comes to asking him to run in behind and asking him to press intensely and all that kind of stuff, we'll see how that goes tomorrow, I guess.
So when you're looking at that team, what does that leave us with on the bench? Like, who is actually going to be our bench players tomorrow? Williams Barnett, Olasesi. Like who can Dane Scarlett? Who can we call on?
The youth players who are who were training today with the first team were Luca Williams Barnett, Tynan Thompson, Malachi Hardy, Callum Olasesi, and Junai Byfeld, among others, said Ali Gold. So that's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subs. I'm assuming both keepers, Austin and Kinski, will both be on the bench as well. So that's 7. And you're looking at, in terms of first team players, Spence, that's 8. He'll be on the bench, we're saying. And then he'll be the only senior first team player on the bench, unless Sarr somehow makes it.
Yeah, Sarr's not going to make it.
And Scarlett, you mentioned Scarlett?
Yeah.
That's 9. Scarlett will be 9. And then maybe a couple other youth players.
Yeah. Maybe an interesting dynamic when we need to make changes later on in the game. Can we recreate the Elfsborg game? Was it the Elfsborg game?
It was. Yeah. That would be nice. I'd love that. And I think in terms of the ones who'll be more trusted, obviously Scarlett will probably come on. He'll be more trusted. I'm guessing Spence will get some time. When it comes to Williams Barnett, Olasesi, all these kind of players, will Frank trust them? Guess we'll have to see tomorrow.
Yeah, I think with Udogie, I think the plan might be to play him an hour and then bring on Spence for half an hour, something like that. If not, maybe Spence an hour and then Udogie for the last half an hour. But look, this is the lineup that we're going for. Not many options, but it's Vicario in goal, Porro right back, Udogie left back, Romero and Danso in the centre back positions, Bergvall, Gray, and Simmons in the midfield. Odegaard on the right, Moani on the left, and Solanke up top. Score prediction?
Yeah, we ain't getting anything out of this game.
Probably better not to do a score prediction for this one.
It's not going to be pretty, I don't think. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
I think just leave it at that. The score prediction is it's not going to be pretty. So that's the predicted lineup. There's just been an article from Matt Law, which seems quite interesting. So some of the things that have been said on it that the aggregator just reporting right now is that Frank is expected to be sacked if his position is made untenable by results and more calls for him to go by supporters. So basically that's already been done. The results are already untenable and the calls from supporters already been there.
Says,
so I don't understand that.
Frank will remain in charge for the Dortmund game, but the Dane's position is not thought to be any more secure beyond that. He is expected to be sacked if his position is made untenable by results and vociferous calls from supporters. Tottenham face a trip to Burnley on the weekend. Speaking before the visit, he spoke about what Frank was talking about in the press conference. They also said that, they expect a interim to be installed now if he is to go. So that's obviously a lot of what we've been hearing. We'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. I think if we do somehow pull a result out of the bag, I think he probably will keep him, to be honest, for another game. He says the return of Mauricio Pochettino is likely to be considered by Spurs if Frank is sacked, which is not a surprise. Yeah, well, I don't know why they've kept him in for one other game, but I don't see the difference. But
what is the point of this going game by game? Like, it's a bit ridiculous. The results have already been the results. We're over halfway through the season now. The fans are getting louder and louder every game. Like, are they waiting for it just to be like so toxic that they just can't handle it anymore? Like, it's already really toxic. Like, what is the point of dragging this out?
For me, it makes no sense. It should have been done before the Dortmund game. We should have had an interim already in charge. Maybe they're just getting their ducks in a row and they're trying to find the right guy before they pull the trigger. But I think you might as well do it already. I mean, Frank's saying he's having conversations, having lunch with Vinay, with Johan, all that kind of stuff. What's the point of just stringing him along like that if the plan is to sack him?
And you know what, I'll tell you what, with Matt Law putting this out and all the aggregators putting this line out saying Frank is expected to be sacked if his possession is made untenable by results and more calls for him to go from supporters, I mean, it's probably going to be very loud in the stadium tomorrow.
Do you reckon if we're winning come near the end of the game, they start chanting sacked in the morning just to make it untenable? There's another bit of interesting part of the article. He says, THFC, while the Lewis family will have the final say on Frank's future and a potential successor, a recommendation has to come from the club's board that is made up of Charrington, Collicott, Jonathan Turner and Eric Hinson. The opinion of Lang will also be considered. So what about Vinay? He's not involved?
Do any of these guys know anything about football?
So they're saying the opinion of Lang is considered, but he doesn't get a vote. Oh no, he doesn't get a recommendation, but these other guys get a recommendation.
I just don't understand this football club, man. So basically the decision of our next head coach is due to a few businessmen.
That's what it seems.
Make it make sense, people.
They've got no idea.
Make it make sense.
They've got no idea what they're doing. So, I mean, Vinay seems like not even involved. They didn't mention Vinay. And so what happens is there's a recommendation from the boards. So they all have to come in and have their say and have their vote. It then goes to the Lewis family, how many people are involved in the Lewis family? Just two of them. Yeah. So what, they have to unanimously agree on then what happens, and then there can be a decision to be made. It's crazy. This process is nuts.
I've never heard such rubbish in all my life. Seriously. The decision laying on a few bloody businessmen.
No wonder no one's made a decision. They all got no idea what they're doing. And then these are the guys. And also they said Lewis family has the final say on a potential successor.
Well, these lot need to get out, man. They need to sell up and leave. They are just driving us into the ground. A few businessmen that have no idea about football and just know about the business of football.
So what?
Trying to make a decision on who our next manager to be. This is ridiculous. No wonder Fabio ran a mile from this.
The recommendation has to come from the club's board, so all these guys, Charrington, Collicott, Turner, Hinson, they have to come up with a successor.
Charrington has no clue about football whatsoever. Like, who are these people?
None of these guys do. I'm sure they have a lot to knowledge about the business of football when it comes to who's a good manager, who's not, who's a right fit, who's a good fit for this football club, who's going to be a success, who plays the right football, what is good football. They have no clue. They have no clue. It's absolutely insane that these guys are the ones making the decisions. At least Lang and Vinay, they've been around football for long enough. I'm not saying I trust them at all. I don't. But at least Lang is a sporting
Trust them more than those guys.
Yeah, at least Lang is a sporting director, and he's got a lot of football knowledge. At least Vinay has been involved in making sporting decisions in the past, and he seems to have good knowledge. These guys are just bit suits. They're just businessmen. They're looking at the bottom line. They have no interest on the sporting side. As long as there's bumps in seats and they're making money, that's all they care about. So the fact that they're the ones in charge of potential successes and they're in charge of whether he stays in a job or not is absolutely madness. And if you don't see this and see how there needs to be change, there needs to be a change of structure. We need football people at the top, at the heart of this football club, making the footballing decisions. We can't leave it to the Lewis family. What do they know about football? Why are they the ones making the decisions about who's the manager and who's not?
You know what? This actually sounds worse than the way Levy was running the club. This sounds worse, a lot worse actually. At least Levy would take into consideration what his sporting director and what the footballing people at the club would say. And the final decision would end up with him. Fine, but these guys don't even seem like they're giving them a say on who the next manager is going to be. It's absolutely nuts.
It says Lange's opinion will only be considered. So what? He doesn't get a recommendation. He just gets his opinion considered. The whole thing.
So basically, what they're going to land in with an interim for the end of the season and bring Pochettino to appease the fans. That's what it's going to be.
I think that's the only thing that probably comes into their head because they've got no creativity. They're like, okay, Poch, he was good before. Why not him? Like, they don't know these other managers. They probably never heard of some of them. Like, they probably don't know who these guys are. You think they know who Stuttgart are or Celta Vigo? You think they'd give a damn? You think they've seen a moment's football from these guys? No chance. They've got no clue. They got no clue. The whole thing is an absolute mess.
The whole lot need to get out. They really need to get out. This is some of the worst stuff I've ever heard. It really is. Like, if this is true, this can't be true, man. If this is true, it's an absolute abomination.
With this bloody hierarchy. They've got absolutely no clue what they're doing. And
I'm telling you, these lot are going to take us down. They're going to take us down. Like, they are literally killing anything of what's left of this football club. They really are. I can't believe it.
And it's no wonder that they're only now considering... It's exactly what I was saying yesterday. It's no wonder Vivian gets an earful from a fan, and all of a sudden now we're considering letting Frank go. Because they've got no idea what we've been watching. They've got no idea that it's utter rubbish. They've got no idea about football. They're watching this game and they're probably listening to Frank and they're listening to, it's going to be fine. He'll turn things around. He just needs time, blah, blah, blah. They don't understand how bad it really is. They've got no clue. And all of a sudden, now Vivian is getting approached at games and stuff. All of a sudden, they're now starting to realise something's really bad here. And actually, we might need to change it, but only because it's affecting them, not because it's how bad we are. Because they've been watching it. I don't know if they've been watching it, but I assume they have. And they clearly don't understand how bad it is.
They're at every game. They're at every game.
Well, they don't understand how bad it is what they're seeing.
I see a comment there saying, I'm actually glad Lange is not involved. And that's fine. But are you happy who is involved? Because I don't think anyone should be happy of who is involved
I'd much rather
in making this decision.
I'd much rather our sporting director actually has a say in sporting decisions, personally. If we have one. I'm not saying I like him. I don't get me wrong. I'll sack him tomorrow.
He shouldn't be at the club either.
I'll sack him tomorrow.
Get Vinay out.
My only
get
point
them
is,
all out.
if you have a sporting director He should have a say in sporting decisions.
Yeah. I mean, he should have the most say.
Exactly. So that shouldn't be controversial, and apparently he doesn't.
No, it will only be considered.
When it comes to
It won't
the manager,
even be
anyway.
definitely listened to. Like, it's
Fabio has.
if that is the actual decision, like Land should have enough about him to say, you know what, I'm off. Go screw yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why should he like have to suffer through that as well? Like, Fabio got a wind of how this is all going, and he's like, I'm
he's
off.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? He
Fabio.
had something about him. Lange obviously got nothing about him.
I think Fabio saw that. I think Fabio went to the board and probably told them, look, this guy ain't the guy. We need to get rid of him. And all these suits were like, well, actually, we have to give it time like that. And Fabio's like, what the hell do you guys know about football? What do you know? How are you saying you know more about football than I do? I'm telling you, this guy ain't the guy. And there's all these suits, like, in their laptops, where he's good. We got to give this guy time. And now he's like, fuck this.
I'm going to the bottom in Serie A. It's better than here. At least they'll listen to me over there.
They got no clue. What
Absolute disgrace.
Oh, this club, man.
We are run like a corporate industry. We are not run anywhere close to like a football club that have any ambition to be successful.
This is what we heard. We heard this from that Sky Sports journalist who said he heard from his sources from inside the club. It's an absolute mess at the top. It's still run by businessmen. There's no football voices, and it's an absolute chaos. That's what he said. He said that 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and he leaked that with one of his sources. And here we are. It's being
now
shown.
it's all coming out. And I don't know what the answer is here, but people only came out. Hardly came out. Less than probably 100 people at the protest. Fans need to show more of their voice, not against them. I think it's less important to show it about Frank now. It's more important to show it about the ownership.
This rebrand is an absolute myth.
Sham.
It's a sham. We just want to win more games all the time. So what? You put more businessmen in charge? For God's sake. Who's actually at this club caring about the football? I didn't think it was possible. We're actually worse off than we are than when Levy was here. That's how mad it is. That's how mad it is right now. More executives. That's all apparently. That's who's making decisions at this football club. And now
the people that run this club are an absolute disgrace. They're a disgrace to the name of Tottenham Hotspur. And all they're going to do is drive us into the ground, man. It's actually so sad what is happening here. It's incredibly sad. And you think we're going to be run this way and see any success and get Champions League regularly and all this? Just kiss that goodbye. Kiss that goodbye.
I've got no faith even if they sack Frank, anything good's going to come of it now.
Yeah.
I've got no faith that they're going to appoint. Who do they know who to appoint? What do they know?
They'll appoint Pochettino. That's who they're going to appoint. And on the face of that, I don't mind. I think it's a decent appointment, Pochettino. But if they're only appointing Pochettino because it's a kind of a way to try and get the fans on side. But the way that they're going to land on Pochettino and the people that are making the decisions just tells me that they're just going to make wrong decision after wrong decision time after time after time. It won't go well. Nothing's going to go well. Don't even listen to the sporting director.
It's crazy. And also, why are they saying they'll sack him if Frank's job becomes untenable?
It's already untenable.
Exactly. How is it not already untenable? How instead if there's more fan boos, it's like, so what? They weren't loud enough. They were not loud enough on Saturday. You need to hit a higher decibel level. Someone get a decibel counter to the next game. Make sure you hit the highest notes.
You're the one going. You got that job.
All right, I'm gonna bring a decibel counter. I don't know what it hit against West Ham, but it has to hit a higher one tomorrow.
And I tell you, ridiculous. It will hit a higher one tomorrow. As soon as we go 1-0 down. That's it.
I think they're going to keep him. I actually think they're going to keep him.
For how long?
I think they're going to give him the Burnley game. If we don't win that, he'll be gone.
Mm.
I don't think they're going to judge him on tomorrow. I think there's going to be a realisation we've got no players.
What do they know?
Absolutely. What do they know? He should be gone already. It's craziness.
But they're saying they're judging it on fan reaction as well. So if that comes into play and the fans speak like they've been speaking, it's getting louder and louder.
Maybe they will second tomorrow.
You know what I mean?
I hope they do.
If it gets very toxic tomorrow, like I probably suspect
but it will.
does.
We're going to get battered tomorrow.
That's what I'm saying. So if it gets
I feel bad. There's nothing Frank really can do about it tomorrow.
Yeah, but this is just a one-off game, like of a long list of black eyes. You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong. I understand that. I'm just saying if they're judging him on tomorrow, it doesn't seem that fair. But I would have sacked him anyway.
But I don't think they're just judging him on tomorrow. I think it's that on top of a whole heap of things.
I'm saying that if they're going to sack him on the basis of tomorrow, that decision should be made already.
And I think as well, it's a bit ridiculous that comes into play. Like, all right, if the fans boo loudly, then we'll sack him. Like, what sort of way is that to judge a manager, or you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
It's nuts, isn't it?
Don't you have enough about you to make your own decisions? Can't you see what's in front of your eyes and just make your own decisions? Makes no sense. Anything about this makes no sense whatsoever.
It's a mess. The whole thing is a mess. They got no idea what they're doing. They're pissing in the wind. They've got no clue.
It's actually laughable, but it would be more laughable if it wasn't my club. Just can't take it.
Well, we do have a game tomorrow.
It doesn't seem like we do, to be honest.
Well, apparently
seems like we've got a pantomime tomorrow. Oh, God. How do we even assess this game tomorrow? Because we got no players. We've got 11 fit players. Well, we've got 12 or 13 fit players if you want to include Scarlett in there. Up against a rampant Dortmund side that are going very well in their league. We're level on points with them in the Champions League table. It's a very big game in the dynamics of the group. If we win, which is, very unlikely, we got a chance to really make that top 8 spot our own. Because with that game against Frankfurt in the last game next week, if we win the 2 games, then I'm pretty certain that we will finish in the top 8. I think we need 1 point, from the 2 games to solidify our spot in the top 24.
I think if we lose both, I reckon we still make it. But
yeah.
I think if you want to put away any doubt, you probably need a point to do it. So could we get a point either tomorrow or Frankfurt? Maybe, hopefully, and not the way we're playing. But yeah, Dortmund are having a good season. They're the second highest goal scorers in the whole group stage at the moment in the Champions League. However, they are also, I think, in near the top for goals conceded. They scored 19 and conceded 13. So they're a very open, entertaining side. They've been playing a back three system this season, a 3-4-3. But a very attacking 3-4-3 with very attacking wing backs. It's going to be one hell of a task. This is not something, Dortmund go up and down, don't they? But this is a pretty decent Dortmund side we're facing now. They are a very distant second to Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, but they're also quite comfortably second as well. So they are. They're not to be trifled with. They're a strong attacking team. If you are not on your game, they play beautiful football. They can carve you open. They got Guarati who scores goals for fun. They got pacey winger and Adeyemi.
Guarati is actually not scoring at the rate this season as he has done in previous years.
No, but he's still their top goal scorer.
Yeah.
Adeyemi, he's a pacey winger who's an eye for goal. Brandt is a creator. He's one who's really got that killer ball in him. They've got Ryerson, a wing back who's loves to get forward and loves to put a cross in the box, and he gets quite a few assists. They got Joe Bellingham, who's been quite good. Nemecha, who's been scoring some really good goals in the Champions League. He seems to be a really good central midfielder as well. So they got talent all over that pitch.
Players like Jan Couto as well, which was highly sought after fullback, wing back,
Schlotterbeck is one he's been talked about Liverpool, maybe.
Schlotterbeck, yeah. Joe Bellingham.
So this is going to be a tough game. This is not an easy Dortmund side. I think at our best, could we take them on? Yeah. I'm not saying guaranteed to win either way, but I think it could be a close game. I think tomorrow, I just see us being so off it, and we've started games in such a poor manner in recent games. I think if we do that tomorrow, could easily find ourselves 2 or 3 down.
Yeah, absolutely. If we play like we did against Aston Villa and against West Ham in the first 45 minutes, the game could be done at half-time. It really could be. We need to come out firing. We need to come out pressing. We need to come out aggressive. We need to come out like we want to win the game from the off, not just when we're down in the second half trying to recoup the goals that we've conceded in the first half. So we need to show intent from the first whistle tomorrow.
I think it's going to be a backs against the wall kind of job. I don't see us dominating possession. I think Dortmund's going to be the one dominating tomorrow, and we're just going to have to hope for some counters, set pieces. We're going to have to play like we've been playing all season, basically at home, be like the away side essentially. That's what I assume is going to happen tomorrow. Yeah,
it's a shame because like when the group stage got drawn, obviously this was highlighted as our biggest game in the group phase. And we've got a decent record against Dortmund. We always seem to do really well against them. I think the last time we lost to them, wasn't it, back when we were in the Europa League?
Yeah.
It was some time ago. We've played them quite a few times since then. Our Champions League matchups with them have always been ones to look forward to, haven't they? Always a great atmosphere, always a pretty good performance from Tottenham as well. But the player that's always been a thorn in their side is Son Heung-min, and obviously he's not with us anymore. Harry Kane used to do great jobs against them as well. I remember that time when we had to go there, in the knockout phase of the Champions League after beating them. Well, I think we drew at White Hart Lane, didn't we? Or was it at Wembley? And then we went and won 1-0 away.
No, we beat them 3-0 when Vertonghen had that mad game.
Oh, that was that. Yeah, we beat Vertonghen at left back.
Yeah, that was a mad game.
And we beat them 1-0 with Harry Kane.
We've had some good encounters with them. I remember, that one was at Wembley. Vertonghen having that, Llorente scoring a late third as well. That was brilliant. We've had the first Champions League night, I think it was, at Wembley in that season, when Son and Kane absolutely ripped them to shreds with clinical goals. Beautiful. We battered them that day. We beat them as well away from home 2-1 to top the group. It was a group with them, Real Madrid in it.
Yeah,
that was a great. That was
Sonny
a great
and
night.
Kane.
Sonny and Kane as well. Again, Son was just a killer against them. So we've had some really enjoyable games against Borussia Dortmund. I don't know if this is going to be one of them, but we've had some in the past for sure.
Yeah, that game though when we won 1-0, that was a backs against the wall job. Do you remember?
Lloris had a brilliant game.
Yeah, like we came into that game defending because Dortmund had to throw everything at us, and they did, and we held strong. And then Kane got that goal, and it was just like a weight lifted off our shoulders. Remember, we were there that day, beer flying everywhere in the way, and that was great. And even in the Europa League game at White Hart Lane, do you remember there's that famous clip of Alderweireld, that little skill that he did?
Yeah, that's always does around, even though it says like 5-1 in the corner. He's doing pirouettes in his own. Always like a clip that goes around to show how good he was. But that Europa League, I remember we were just resting players at the time because we were chasing down Leicester, but we let that one go. But yeah, we've had some really great ties against, even in that game, that Europa League game. I think Son even scored in that one. I know we got battered. But yeah, I think this one's going to be the toughest one yet, probably.
Yeah, obviously the Europa League ones were very tough, but at least we have players to pick from. Now we're just so limited with options.
It's going to be interesting to see how this double pivot does. Gray and Bergvall. Obviously the youngsters getting a real opportunity due to enforced circumstances, but it's going to be very interesting. They're going to be up against this 3-4-3 system, which, they shouldn't be overrun, but what will be the problem is the wing-backs, because they're going to have these 2 number 10s tucking inside, Adeyemi and Brandt. They're going to be, running it behind. It's going to be a lot of trouble, kind of Gray and Berg are having to pick those guys up. You're going to have Romero and Dancer, who are very much proactive defenders. So they're going to be going in on challenges. They're going to be trying to nick the ball. And Gray and Bergvall are going to have a lot of defensive responsibilities, trying to cover, helping out the fullbacks with the wing-backs, going over, trying to keep the centre-mids in check. Also the wingers, Odegaard, Moani, are going to have to be very much going the other way in this one, because I think if you give these wing-backs a free rein, you're asking for trouble. So it's going to be hard to stop them.
Do you think maybe, having said that, it might be better to start Spence in this game than a Doggy?
Maybe.
Because defensively, it might need him.
Yeah, but I feel like the Doggy is our best bet of getting up the pitch as well from that side. So I do still want to see a doggy. On the flip side, maybe when you got Moani and Odebear and a doggy, could there be some opportunities on counters and to try and get in behind them? Because they do kind of, as much as they play free at the back, they do commit a lot of players forward and they do kind of leave a bit of space there. But I think our best bet is either properly getting Porro forward and getting him to cross it to Solanke and Moani at the back post, corners. But we're going to have to dig in this game. We're really going to have to dig deep.
It's going to be hard for us. It's going to be hard for us to, keep them out the other end. But actually going forward, there's going to be spaces and gaps for us, isn't there?
They concede goals. They commit players forward. They play with risk. They're one of the highest conceding goals teams in the Champions League for a reason. The games, a lot of their games are chaos. They went to Juve and drew 4-4 earlier in the group stage. That was a crazy game. They've drawn 2-2 with Boda at home as well. They just drew 3-3 with Frankfurt. They have a lot of topsy-turvy games. So if your attacking's on point, you can definitely get at them. But they also are very, very hard to stop. The problem for us is at the moment, we're not good at keeping people out and we're not good at scoring. So
even Copenhagen scored a couple against them, 4-2 that day.
Yeah.
You look at Javi Simmons and Kolo Muani, obviously this is the kind of opposition which they're used to playing. Javi Simmons, very good and highly rated in the Bundesliga, and so was Kolo Muani, For Frankfurt, that's probably his best time in football, was when he was in the number 9 for Frankfurt, scoring a lot of goals. So do you think that can have any impact for us tomorrow?
Maybe. It's a team he knows well, so I think there's always a chance. I think Moani has struggled for sure. His body language hasn't been great recently. Xavi as well knows they both know the Bundesliga, Xavi and Moani. So I think that it's going to be a team in plays they know well. So hopefully we can get some sort of advantage there, or some sort of a bit more kind of, maybe it could be a bit more like a Bundesliga game in a sense, and maybe that could help them. But unfortunately, we're on our last legs at the moment. That's the trouble. But I think that could be something, because they know how to play in space. That's what they do in the Bundesliga. So if Dortmund are going to give them that space, and they are two players who definitely could exploit it.
I'll be so angry with Frank tomorrow if Solanke doesn't even start and he goes for like Scarlett or something. Like I'm all for giving Scarlett his go. But obviously, I'd be angry because of the Tell situation.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if he does that? I wouldn't even be surprised if he does it.
It'll be crazy. It'll be absolutely nuts if he does that. Tell's as well, another player who knows the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Yeah, angry playing. It's tough to envisage us getting a result tomorrow, given the circumstances. Even if we do have a good start and we go 1-up or something, given that we don't really have the players to change it and we might tire and that kind of stuff, and we've playing every 3 days, it's tough to envisage like us holding on to any sort of lead we get as well. So, and if we go behind, how are we going to overturn that? I've got no idea.
Well, we haven't done that once this season, so the only time we win is when we keep a clean sheet, and I can't see us keeping, unless that one game against Leeds, which was the exception to the rule. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to envisage anything positive in this game. And it's not just about the 11-bit players or the 12, whatever the number is. It's about just the general feeling around the club, the feeling from the fans. That's going to kind of get onto the pitch as well.
And heads dropping quickly.
Everything's going to be focused on Thomas Frank pretty much this game, especially from the stands.
Well, he's spoken. We're waiting for his press conference. And he has spoken. Did you take anything from it? He had a few things to say. He said he had lunch with Nick, who's one of the executives, with Vinay, with Johan. He said, it's a good thing that he was having lunch with them, because when there's a storm outside, a lot of people run away and they're not seen having a nice spot of lunch. And he was talking about football and about life.
As they get time to chat.
What do you reckon was said at that? Do you reckon they gave any inkling about how dangerous, precarious his position is?
Nah,
doubt it.
I don't know. Maybe they did, but I don't know what was said in this lunch. I really don't, and it's hard to kind of work out what was said. But like I've said,
is it telling that they had lunch with an executive just before, after what's been happening? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how often they have lunch. He says that he's been heavily backed by the board, and he's spoken about constantly speaking and feeling supported. But I think it's just jargon that he's just going to say every time. Maybe it is a bit telling that he's having meetings with the executives after what's happened and all the news reports that is coming out. And we heard that there was a big boardroom meeting, whether it happened or not, I don't know.
He's called it just media speculation.
Yeah, it's all bollocks. Like, I told you already, like, I don't really take too much notice in what Frank says in his press conferences.
What about his body language?
His body language seemed normal.
Normal?
I thought so.
I thought he looked a bit down, actually, at some points.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't think he looked that confident, to be honest. I thought there was some of his answers, it was like his voice went a bit meek on occasion. Look, again, I'm not a body language expert, but
you sound like one.
I try and read into things I try to read into I can. I don't know, there was something about his demeanour that didn't look that confident, to be honest. His words were trying to portray confidence, but his body language didn't portray confidence.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch probably as intensely as you watched it, but from what I saw, it just seemed the same as I've seen in previous press conferences, to be honest. But it's hard to read anything into it because they have their set lines that they're going to say. He obviously knew that he was going to come into these kind of questions before the press conference was started, and he had his set lines of what he was going to say, and he's always going to try and portray an image of support from the club. Like, there's nothing else that he could say.
He was asked about whether he can get the fans back on side. Where was his answer to that? He said...
he basically said if we win games, the fans will be on side.
Yeah, essentially. He says that he's in no doubt that he can get the fans back over.
He said that week after week. This is not the first time he said it.
I'm in no doubt about that, he said.
He says that week after week. Every week the journalists are telling him to send a message to the fans, and he says the same thing every week. So what are we supposed to read? I told you, it's all kind of just media rubbish that there's not too much you can take away from it. Like, the guy's not going to be here for much longer.
He also was asked about what justification is there to kind of keep him in a job, and if does he where does he see things turning around? Like, because he keeps saying we're close to turning things around and stuff like that. And so people saying, what justification is there for you to say that? Like, when are we going to start seeing consistent performances? And he said that we are starting to see consistent performances, in his opinion. In the last 6-7 games, there's been consistent performances.
You see,
there's no results. And as well, he said the last 3 games, Bournemouth, Villa and West Ham, we easily could have gotten results in those games. And it's just a bit of luck why we didn't. And that's proof that they're getting more consistent performances.
Yeah. It's something I've been saying, that I've seen more in the last few games than I have in previous, like in the last month, I've seen more from the team than I have done in the previous 3 months or whatever. However, it's not enough, because what we're seeing is 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there in games. What he's saying about us being able, could have got a result against West Ham, he's not taking into account that we could have conceded 3 goals in the first half. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's looking at the game and trying to gloss over the bad moments in the first half where we could have conceded 2 or 3, but then focusing on the good moment in those 10, 15 minutes, where we could have scored a couple of goals. So I think he's being a bit disingenuous, to be honest, when talking about those moments, because yes, there has been moments in games where we've looked decent, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes here and there. First 15 minutes of the Bournemouth game, last 15 minutes of the Bournemouth game, a 15, 20-minute spell in the second half against West Ham. But it's all just kind of moments and spells. There's never been a game where we've looked brilliant for 90 minutes. The Brentford one's probably the only one this whole season since the first few games. So I'm looking at it and being like, yeah, fine, you might have a point that we've shown 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but it's nowhere near enough when you've been in the job for 7 months.
Yeah, I agree. And I think he's saying that we could have, if Van der Ven scores his header, if we turn it around against West Ham, if we got that equaliser against Villa, we're all having different conversations. But at the end of the day, you actually analyse those games just objectively. You analyse the full 90 minutes. We didn't deserve to win any of those games. Mm-hmm. We weren't the better team in any of those games. Yes, there were moments where we maybe got it when we were level, when we were close, we could have got taken advantage of it. But if you take the whole 90 minutes of all those games into account, we were not the better team in any of those games. So I don't see how he sits there and says these are the consistent performances to hold us up, in terms of that we can believe in, that we're getting on the right path and we're going in the right direction. I think it's better than what we saw against Chelsea and Arsenal, which is probably some of the worst football the Premier League has ever seen. But that's like the lowest bar you can ever have. If we set records for low XG in those games, records of how bad that was. So if we're going in the right direction compared to those games, yeah, that's fair. But we're still second best. We're still being outplayed by a West Ham team in the relegation zone. We lost to a team in Bournemouth who, yes, are not a bad side, but they were winless in 11, and we deserve to lose, or we deserve to not win that game, in my opinion, albeit we could have won the game. We also could have conceded more goals and we could have lost the game. Villa, we lost 2-0 in the first half. Yes, we had a spell where we rallied a bit, but again, after that spell, his changes screwed things up, and we could have conceded again. They had a shot cleared off the line, and they could feel like, yeah, we could have won that game 3 or 4-1 if we had our finishing boots on as well. So I think it's crazy for him to, and also in this spell he's talking about, there was Brentford away, which was absolutely atrocious. There was Forest away, which was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. Even in the good ones, like Sunderland at home, yes, there was a good 45 minutes, but the second 45 was woeful. Like in every scenario he's looking at, there is no consistent performances, really. The best one you could probably say was Liverpool, where we were down to 10 men. And yes, that wasn't totally his fault, but yeah, we rallied for a bit. But again, was that a case of we were in a no-lose situation and just threw caution to the wind with 10 men? Like, the
majority of times Spurs have looked anything decent this season is when the game plan's out the window and we're down 1 or 2-0. That is the reality. Like, can you pinpoint any, in the last month or so when we're talking about we've had these moments, can you pinpoint any moments in game? First half against Sunderland, maybe the first 10 minutes against Bournemouth. Yeah. Those are the only ones. Apart from that, when it's the standard game state and we go out and try and deploy our game plan, it's been utter dross. Mm-hmm. That's the reality, right? We only throw caution to the wind when we have to.
Yeah, he says the fact that we have these turnarounds or attempted turnarounds in the second half goes to show how the team are fighting, the team are running, they're trying it, they're buying into what he's trying to do, and he's saying that's evidence of it, and the fact that they're coming out in the second half with determination to really turn these games around.
I think that it shows that the team have fighting spirit, and it shows that they've got it in them to play a bit of attacking football. But also, it shows when teams like Aston Villa go 2-0 up, they sit back and they try and soak up the pressure. West Ham as well. They sat back as well and they invited pressure onto them.
And we do the same when a lot of the time we go up, the things change.
100%. So the game state changes and it puts the onus more on us to go forward and attack the teams. And yeah, look, like I said, we look decent in 10, 15-minute spells. But then ultimately, like you mentioned, the changes happen from Thomas Frank in the game and the game swings again.
And as well, all we do is give it to Porro and he swings it in. That's most of our attack. The full answer actually was a bit more interesting on the fans. He says, can you win the fans back? He says, I'm in no doubt of that. I think you can say in this game you always need to show resilience. I listened to some interesting things the other day where the 3 biggest things in showing resilience is 1, you have a good values. I see myself as a guy with pretty good values. 2, you know reality. And the reality is 1 in 5 people normally don't like you no matter what you do. 1 in 5 love you no matter what you do. Both of them probably biased either way too much. Then there's 3 in 5 that if you behave well, respectful, show integrity, do your best, normally that's the way. So no matter what you do, reality is someone will not like you. But I keep doing what I do and what I believe in. And then the last bit, by the way, have perspective in life, which I have in abundance. So looking forward to the game tomorrow. So he says, whatever he does, there's going to be people who doesn't like him. 1 in 5 people, they're just not going to like you whatever you do.
As someone says in the comments there, it's more waffle, jargon and waffle. That's all that is. It's absolute rubbish. I do agree with him, though, that in a sense that if he turns the results around and we start getting consistent results, he will turn fans around. that will happen, but he's not going to be afforded the time to do that, nor should he be, because of what he's shown so far.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting, because either way, there's going to be, unless it's like a draw, which we didn't play badly in, then I don't know what we do. But it'd be interesting to see how things change after tomorrow. Will that tomorrow be his last game? Will he actually pull out a performance and a result?
I think it will be his last game. I think it will. I think the way the game's going to go, I think is probably how we all expect it to go. And I think the fans are going to speak again, probably louder than they spoke against the game on the weekend against West Ham. And as Matt Law says, the louder the fans speak, the more likely they are to make a decision. So, yeah, I think that's the situation we're in.
Yeah, I think that's where it's all pointing to at the moment. I'm surprised he's been given this game. I'm shocked he is going to be in the dugout for tomorrow. I don't know. I just got this feeling that it's not as imminent as we think. But I just hope I'm wrong.
You are, hopefully. I'm praying. I'm praying you are, because we need to end this, man. He's
going to be in charge on Saturday. I've just got a feeling he's going to be in charge on Saturday. When's our next time we have a week break? Is that not? When's that? Is that February?
A week break?
Like a no midweek game.
The next time we have a week break is, where are we? Is after the City game. We got Frankfurt, then City, then a week break, and Man U.
And that's just after Jan.
Yeah, that's the first week of Feb.
Could they wait till then? I don't know. I've just got a feeling that we're all hoping it's really, really imminent, and maybe it's not as imminent as we think. I don't know.
Well, it's obviously not as imminent as we thought, because we thought it was going to happen yesterday. That's the reality. But yeah, I thought they had no option after the West Ham game. I don't think. I mean, they surely don't have an option if the fans speak as loudly as I think they're going to. Surely there's no option, especially with what Matt Law's saying as well.
I know, but there is a bit of justification tomorrow. If you haven't sacked him yet, then so basing your decision on whether to sack him on tomorrow seems a bit like, will they do that?
But I don't understand what they're waiting for.
That's why I know that, and for sure I don't know what they've waited for. They still got him in charge, but why would their opinion change based on what happens tomorrow? That doesn't make any sense, unless they've made a decision of just giving him this game for no reason, just to do it.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier today, I think that
if we win tomorrow, I can't see him sacking him. I can't see it.
Well, I've been saying, well, we know we're not going to win tomorrow, but I think it's all about the interim and about who they think is going to take the interim role. If they have someone in place, I think they'll make the decision.
If we win and we move into the top 8, and then it's like, oh no, we're in the top 8, look, it's great, and then look, we could avoid that playoff game, and then they're like, okay, maybe we'll give them another game. I can just so see that happening if we do win. I can't see us winning. Don't get me wrong, but if we were to somehow pull off a result, I can't see them sacking him ahead of the Burnley game. I think they would have to give him the Burnley game. They don't have to. Sorry, I think they will give him the Burnley game.
Well, all will be revealed in the next 24 to 48 hours, eh?
A lot happening, yeah.
We've been primed and ready for the sacking for 24 hours.
I really thought to be honest, I really thought this morning it was going to be announced. I really did, but they surprised me.
Every Spurs fan woke up so excited this morning.
Last night, everyone was celebrating like it was done. There was all the celebration memes going around. There was everyone's going
like, saying, "We're free, we're free."
It was over, and we're far from over. It seems so. Well, not far, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, but you know what? It's hard to even get excited because of who's running the club.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we sacked Frank.
Then what?
Exactly. Do we see things getting any better? Because I don't. That's the problem we're in right now. So it kind of makes it a bit null and void.
I can't exactly get excited for an interim, can I? Let's be honest. I think it's a weird situation to be in because I do in general think employing an interim is not a good idea. Like it's very rarely successful over a long stretch of time, like 6 months, maybe for a few weeks, but it's never a situation you want to find yourself in. It's always usually a bad idea to put an interim in, but sometimes in things to become so toxic and so bad that the situation calls for it. And this might be one of them. I think it is one of them, but it's just I don't like calling for an interim because I don't think it's good. But we might. But then again, I just can't stand watching this football any longer. I just can't. It's horrible. Oh, it's such a shit situation to be in.
We're just in a very shit situation, and doesn't seem to be a way out, no matter who the manager is. That's the reality.
Every time we find ourselves back here.
But look, that is some sort of match preview. Let us know your score predictions in the comment section below. We're going to finish the show on a couple of super chats. Sharpie Sniffing Productions says, we'll play the way we want to with Big Ange Postecoglou, whether I'm right or wrong. You can keep your Pochettino, Conte and Mourinho, and even Thomas Frank. We're loving Big Ange instead.
Can you even bring yourself to sing it?
Don't have a good singing voice.
We're loving Big Ange instead. Come on.
Loving him so much that you wouldn't take him back.
I would take it back.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you wouldn't.
No, not over Javi.
Oh, over Javi, yeah.
I would take him back, though.
Over Poch?
Over Poch. Who would I rather see get 10 years? No, I'll probably take Poch.
So not Javi, not Poch, not Jabi Alonso,
No,
not Nagelsmann,
no.
Maresca.
I'll probably go Maresca.
So you're not taking Ange back?
Well, we're not getting any of those managers, except for maybe Poch.
And we could get Javi.
Maybe Javi.
Who else is even in the running? Who could be in the running?
Iraola. I'll take Ange over Iraola. Silva, Glasner. I'll take Ange over any of those guys.
Fair. All right. Sam Barrowcliffe says, I've got a feeling Heitinger has been brought in for the sole purpose of being Frank's interim. They can push the button on whenever they want to sack Frank. Well, why? If that's the case, then they would have done it already, in my opinion. I don't think that's the case.
That's the case. I think that's just they've made a decision to bring in a guy Frank has recommended and whatever. I think, honestly, this whole thing has hit them like a ton of bricks. I think they had no thought about sacking him before West Ham.
Yeah.
I think it didn't even enter their mind that they actually might have to do this. I think this whole thing has come out of nowhere for them. Not nowhere, but like this whole thing has come as like, in terms of the actual reality that they might have to actually sack him, I think that thought has not crossed their mind.
Well, the messaging has completely changed pre-West Ham and post-West Ham. That's the reality.
Exactly, and we hired him pre-West Ham. Like, I think they didn't even consider we might lose that game. They didn't consider how bad the reaction's going to be. And I think I think this has come as a complete surprise that they're in this position, they might have to let him go.
I mean, if they're at the Villa game and they're at the Bournemouth game and they're at recent games even before West Ham, they should know this was brewing.
Absolutely, that's why I'm saying they're completely incompetent.
It's madness.
They should have been planning for this for a while. That we should have had something in place so that in this eventuality we have a plan. And because it was clear for me a while ago this wasn't going to last, or there's a good chance it won't last. So they should have planned for this. They haven't, and now they're like sitting here like, oh shit, why didn't we think this might happen?
I think fan reaction now, instead of saying he sacked in the morning to Frank, they should be going to ENIC, man. That's the place that Spurs fans need to vent for their frustrations at. No matter what you think of Thomas Frank, like, they're the guys at the helm. They're the decision maker. They're the ones that are making these stupid decisions consistently. They're the ones that need to be targeted here, not Thomas Frank, in my opinion. Ardovan says, starting to have some sympathy for fans who don't want to qualify for the Champions League anymore. We would be much more excited if we had a Europa League run to look forward to.
If we were in the Europa League this season, would we be more excited? I don't know. Not really.
I think probably not at this moment in time, but there would be but like maybe in a few months' time we would.
Yeah, if we're in the knockouts, like we were last season, yeah. I guess.
I mean, if we were in the Europa League right now, we'd still be with a genuine chance of winning it.
True.
Scorpion Fan for Life saying, going to get toxics tomorrow and the board is to blame 100%.
Absolutely.
Jay McCauley says, we have been consistently shite and he is delusional.
Yeah, talking about Frank, I don't understand some of his quotes, man. Like, what? It's so worrying about what he is seeing, how he judges our performances. If he thinks anything has been good, like that, either he's lying to himself, he's lying to us, or he actually thinks that's good, and that is all of those options.
I don't believe it. I think he's just been talking crap, and he knows he's talking crap. Southeast Coys member for 11 months says, whichever of you guys go to the game tomorrow, please lead the charge with "He's magic, you know." Need to hear it from the States, so Pochettino returns. You going to be singing that tomorrow?
See how bad things get. Well, he did that. When was it against?
Plenty of times, man. Plenty of times. Yeah, so that's it, people. We'll see you all tomorrow. Me and Daigle on the watch long, so look forward to that. Come and join us before 8 o'clock. We'll be going live at about 1:45. Sim will be inside the ground, grabbing all the content there. So see you all tomorrow, people. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.